Yo, mic check, 1, 2. Coach JT in the building, what it do? 94 feet, that's the space we own. From baseline to baseline, make it known. Dribble the beat, pass the rhyme. Got that hardwood flow, transcended space and time. Swish, nothing but net. Word to Reggie Miller, these other podcasts, they just fill up. We elevate, never hate. Dropping knowledge, seal your fate. 94 feet, that's the court, that's the pod. Talking hoops, ain't no facade. 94 feet, hit a bounce, hit a swish. It's that podcast, granting every wish. From the jump ball to the final buzzer. Analyzing plays like a lyrical puzzler.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to another episode of 94 Feet with Coach JT. As always, do me a favor, please subscribe to the pod. Visit 94feetwithcoachjt.com. We still got the dope merch up. Spring drop is on the way. Let me jump into this intro today. My guest today, I am joined by, glad to call her my friend, my classmate at graduate John F. Kennedy High School, Latrice Pay. She's the owner of Latrice Pay and Company Real Estate Group, LLC, that brings over 18 years of leadership experience with the state of California. Along with it, she's held high-profile projects, built reputations, and strategic thinking, integrity, and service to the community and the state of California. In 2021, with her driven purpose and passion, she made the bold transition into real estate full-time, channeling her expertise in contract negotiation, customer service, client advocacy, and in helping others achieve American dream, as we call home ownership. Within a client-first approach, she's known for her professionalism and delivering a smooth, stress-free experience from the start. Thank you, Latrice, for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. As the intro said, we talked about real estate. However, for those guests, and I'm not sure, is this your first podcast interview?
It is.
Even better. See, I love it. See, we go way back. So, our people going to see this, right? So we got to give them a little history just about even growing up. Like, let's get into it because, as we know, like, our professions now weren't something probably that we probably thought we were going to be in.
Right.
How many years later?
Right.
But just I'll give you a background about just yourself, where you're from, growing up, school-wise, where'd you go, all that.
Yeah, so born and raised South Sacramento, proud Meadowview. We moved to Valley High when I was 12 years old, 7th grade. I'll never forget my mom telling me, or Gady was transitioning the uniform. I'm going, no, I don't want to wear a uniform. I want to go to Jackman.
Yeah.
1 year, 8th grade, but Meadowview, born and raised, was always home. So I did 1 year, and I went right back to Kennedy High School. Caught the bus every day. My mom would drop me off at the bus stop in Meadowview.
Yeah.
Caught the bus to Kennedy, where I was graduated, class of 2001.
Seems like yesterday.
Right.
Y'all coming up on y'all 20th next now?
We are, yeah.
25.
Well, 25, yeah.
Yeah, I just did my 25 this
25.
past winter.
And I was a wild child. Don't judge a book by its cover. We all have the ability to change. I like to believe I am a changed woman. That is very,
those who know Tracy, I call her Trees Bay. But I will say this, she ain't play by her brothers and her homies though. Like that was our girl though, real talk. Like hang out together, supporting us, good times, whatever you're going through in high school. And I would say this time too, these kids, I had a good time in high school, even though like I enjoyed my time.
I had the best time in high school. I enjoyed high school. I was one of the rebels, but I created a lot of memories.
Yeah.
Some of my best friends to this day.
Facts.
And actually, I felt like the upbringing in high school was the characteristics that built me to be the woman I am today. You just translate that energy, right?
The diversity we've seen.
Absolutely.
The interactions with all different kind of people, right?
Absolutely.
At that early age where it was like, no, I got friends of all kind of colors and races back then because that's what it was though, right?
Well, and then they still allowed us to be kids, right? I'll never forget Mr. Corey.
Ooh.
I was one I fought all the time. If you know me, I was always into something. I was always fighting somebody. But that was actually me advocating. I was always fighting for someone else, right?
Yeah.
But they allowed us to be kids. They understood it. Today, kids cannot be kids.
It's different times for sure.
It is.
It's definitely different times.
So.
Before we get into the real estate part, prior to that, we mentioned as far as doing other work, right? We go through high school. Some people went to college. Some people went to trade school, whatever else. What was that initial move for you out of high school? Because, again, that's when it got real. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Wake up, go to school, catch the 81 or get a ride.
Yeah.
Responsibilities were a little bit less limited. More limited. Then they just opened up. What was that transition like out of high school for you? What did you get into in the workforce-wise?
For me, what a lot of people don't know is I was actually accepted into Grambling University. I'll never forget. I've always, even though I was always a rebel, I was always very smart. I graduated early on honor rolls with a 3.7 GPA. I just always had a very strong personality.
Very strong.
But for me also is life came very fast because I was pregnant, right? And so being the first one out of my friends, teen pregnancy, my wife shifted. I ended up having my son 2 weeks before my 19th birthday. So I did not have the opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to get a further my education. It was, you've got a mouth to feed, which ultimately was my foundation to knowing I had bills to pay, right? I never wanted my son to feel the struggle, right? If I could make life just a little easier for him, then that's what I was going to do. So he became my motivation and my first why.
Around when was your son born?
2003.
What month?
Wait, hold on. So my son's a Cancer, June 27, 2002.
So that's even prior
I'm sorry,
to like
2002, son. I love you.
that's during graduation technically season. So
Yeah.
did you get a chance to do any activities, senior stuff, or it was all just right mom duty that spring?
You know what? So I always was ahead of my time. I actually graduated in January and came back to walk stage early. So I was always about $1.
Handling your business.
That was one thing about me. If it didn't make dollars, it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I wasn't the type to hang out. I wasn't in a lot of places. I wanted to be where the money was. So I started working at Bel Air when I was 16. I started the state by 21.
Okay.
I was married with 2 kids, but yeah, my son was born June 27, 2002, because that's 2 weeks before my 19th birthday. So being a teen mom, I had to make sure I had money to raise him.
What was that pressure like, though? I mean, because people, and it's a lot of successful stories, and you're one of them too, but also how rough, if you may just give, like, what was those nice like times like, or any support system you could kind of shout out, like, hey, man, I helped you get through that time, because that's, as even for us, we knew a baby in high school for anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Is a lot.
Oh, it
was
tough.
A lot, right?
Absolutely. It was tough. I remember, back in the days where you can do deposits in envelopes. I had to go to one account.
Yeah.
Shout out to Go to One. They just gave me my account back last year. I would never forget just needing money. So I would deposit an empty envelope at 11:55 at night to withdraw the $100. That was the max. Then to deposit another empty envelope right at 12 o'clock just to have $200, because guess what? I've got a son to feed. I don't have money. I remember losing everything to the pawn shop, going through my couch pillows looking for change to cash in. It was tough. My mom was very active as a grandmother, but I also was very headstrong, and I never liked asking people for anything. So for me, it was, I'm going to get it by all means before I ask you. If I ask you, that means I really need it. So while she was very present, she gave a lot to us, but I never was the type that wanted the help.
Okay.
So
that's dope, though, and I never knew that.
Yeah.
But I never knew that. But that's a sign of the perseverance we talk about, but also that growth, right? Preparing you for right now. Talked about state job. I held a state job for a limited time. Didn't make mine. I stayed 2 years. It was I tried to get through it, but for me that wasn't my long-term calling.
Yeah.
But what state position did you have, and how old did you get in there?
So I started the state at 20 years old. I did
early.
18 years. I did, by the grace of God.
Yeah.
I got in very early. I did an 18-year career. And it works for some. I would tell anybody the state can be a great foundation, but if you're
Just
a
for
person
you.
like me with a very big personality,
And we liked it.
very bold, right?
Talk.
I will always speak what's on my mind. And again, that advocacy kicks in. When I see wrong, I speak of wrong. So, you think, I have made it to a staff services manager one, had held several high-level projects. I absolutely assumed they loved me. They loved me until the questions started. So grateful, and I say this with a whole open heart. We've got to trust God and trust the process, because gratefully, or whatever what I'm looking for is, they terminated me because I complained about systematic oppression. To what I understand today, that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
Yeah.
In the midst of it, not understanding it, very fearful, back in that state of mind, now I'm going through a divorce, right? I've got now 4 children. I just got fired from an 18-year career. What's next, right? What am I going to do? But what I do know is God has never left my side. And so I kind of knew when, the promotions happened.
Yeah.
I got my real estate license in 2016.
Okay.
Never did anything with it.
Just had it there.
I just had it there. I remember them telling me, oh, you didn't ask for permission. It wasn't about permission. It was just something I wanted to do for myself.
Right.
I didn't know, fast forward to 5 years later, that it would be my saving grace and build me to be the woman I am today and the business I have today.
Making that shift, right? Leaving a career path that most stay on until they're ready to hang them up.
Yeah.
But then that happens. What was the first initial jump into now? Like I said, my back is against the wall. I've got to get in this real estate thing full time. What was that moment like for you? How do you dive in, like just head first?
You know, I'm a person, I will always thrive off of someone counting me out. So I was literally in a huge feud with my entire family, my mom's family, who I'm born and raised with. And I'll never forget, I was kind of, when I got fired from the state, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But I trust God. I kind of went and worked for one of my good friends' dealerships. Shout out to Sammy from M&S Auto. He's amazing. He definitely held me down, let me be his finance manager, made great money with him. But I'll never forget, I was literally arguing with my cousin's wife on the phone, and she tells me, oh, can I cuss?
Yeah, do you?
Can I cuss?
You good.
She goes, oh, bitch, that's why you got fired from the state. You're a bum, bitch.
Oh, man.
I was livid. I was like, you know what? Bet. Click. And I hung the phone up, flipped my license active. Literally, I called DRE, put my license active.
Turn that switch on.
That was November 2021, January 2022. I thank you to this day. She started my real estate career by calling me a bum.
put that battery in your back.
You know, but you have to know what ignites you, right?
Yeah.
One is understanding that people will always count you out. And I tell you, if you count me out, you better count twice. You know, or you might not know how to count at all. So, but it was bigger than that. It was what she let me realize is are you a bum right now? What are you doing to take care of your children? Yeah, I had my retirement from the state, but I can't touch that. You know, I was going through a divorce, you know, through the infidelity with my ex-husband. Shout out to him too, because I have an amazing husband now. But life was really lifing. And in that moment, I told myself, you can either sit and soak in it and be a victim, or you could just go out and get it. These kids are still going to be here. I still got 4 children I've got to raise. And what does that look like? And I tell everybody, and I mean it wholeheartedly, those situations were the best thing because it was the foundation to my success.
That pressure.
That
pressure, right? You got because when something's gonna happen, right? What results? Which way you go? What you create from it? What do you move into? So you get into it now. You going? What's that first initial process like? I know you get the license, everything activated. Yeah. Is it the first house sale? What do you do? What do you do to make that first? What's your first accomplishment? You would say, okay, I'm stamped in this now. Now I'm gonna move forward. What was that first sale? Whatever business was that?
I knew I was under something when I got that first tax bill. Right, you're going from a government employee. You're getting tax returns. Okay. You got dependents.
Got you.
But when I had the IRS knock on my door and hit me with a $23,000 tax bill, I was culture shocked. I was like, wait, what? In the moment, you're just surviving, right? You're just trying to stay afloat. Excuse me. I didn't realize how much money I'd even made that first year because I wasn't even keeping account.
You was going.
I was just going. And to be honest, I didn't even have $1 saved. It was new, right?
Right.
You're clearing a transaction. You're getting in between $8,000 to $10,000 at a time. I mean, I think that year was about 6, right? I was making close to I think maybe like 90 grand with the state at that time. So I always use that as where was I going, like my assessment for business.
Right.
If I could at least make my state salary. And I remember telling God, listen, I don't know what's going to happen because now I'm fired. Now I'm going through a divorce. And I'm in a new relationship. I had to tell my boyfriend at the time then, hey, look, I just got fired from the state. You don't got to be here, but I got a lot that's getting ready to go on. He stayed solid. He stayed by my side. Asked me, what do you need from me? But I just told God, listen, if you at least let me sustain what I have, to care for my kids, I will forever mention your name in every single room.
There you go.
Not only did he let me sustain, he blew me up, right? So that first year, you know, you're having fun, we're traveling, you know, buying stuff, but it's just kind of trying to heal through all the different life situations, the divorce, the firing, life, family, just trying to get through it, right? So it was like, okay, 1 year, then the next year, it's like, all right, I'm on to something, and then it's like it's getting better and better. Then you start having people reach out to you. You have people recruiting
you now.
Right, but I'm still not getting it because I'm still fairly new, right? But then it became bigger than that. When I bought my own house, And it was like, wait a minute. And as I started seeing the clientele and who I was serving, it wasn't much of us, right? So then it became, God, what do you need from me? Let me wake up and serve you. And it just started falling in place. I started advocating. I started, not that I'm a financial planner, because I'm not always telling everybody get a CPA, get a true licensed financial advisor. But what I do know is real estate is a thing. And it's a thing that's not talked about enough. So if I can put myself in those spaces to educate everyone, anyone who listens, my goal is to make everyone a homeowner.
Yep.
Not even just sell property, to help you purchase it. Because to me, the purchase was more gratifying than the sale, because you're watching people create wealth.
That's definitely fire. And I will say this, in the fall semester, she came to my class. Shout out to my students over at the Fortune Early High School, College High School. They were so amazed, but also they want to talk money.
Yeah.
They want to talk investment money. They want to ask them questions, but to see somebody, a female, African-American, whoever it is, but somebody who can talk to them in ways they can understand, one, which is relatable, but also you took questions, and they had questions because they do want to know how to do that at an early age, but also you said you make it a point to say, I want to start them early.
Absolutely.
What about you informing or giving information to this younger generation is so important, because you said you're passionate about that part, is getting in front of these youth and young adults, teenagers, let them know about the opportunities they may have.
Absolutely. And I became passionate about it because we are all deserving of it. Problem is, we don't talk about, I'm not going to say we don't talk about it. I feel like there's a lot of people who cannot articulate things in the way our culture and our community understands, right? So while you understand you're available and a resource to everyone, but you also have to start being intentional with how we start setting our own children up, right, for success.
Nice.
How we are incorporating these conversations that generate wealth, you know, financial stability. And home ownership is really a thing, because here's the thing. I don't care what grocery store you walk in, what home you walk in, what apartment complex, all of that is real estate. Everyone needs a building for their business or a home for their living situation. How do we translate that to everyone, specifically us?
Right. That's definitely dope. And just, what about the relations part of it for you? Because I mean, we're in professions and businesses where we talk to people.
Yeah.
How was that difficult starting out? Something you had to grow to, or something you already done, or to move in a space to where communication is clear, effective, but also people can understand and want to seek you out for work?
Yeah. You know, it's never been difficult to me. I think when you are operating in a space of purpose, it comes with ease. So I will say this, my real estate success is not the norm. Where I've grown to is not the norm to real estate. Someone just told me, I was at an event a few days ago, that the volume I'm doing typically takes about 15 years for somebody to get here. But I think it's because I'm walking in my purpose and I'm so passionate about it.
Put those together, it's a
passion into purpose, which is what I've read. Trust the process and passion into purpose, right?
Yeah.
But when you know what you know and you believe in it, it's just, I'm an advocate. I'm not a salesperson. My license says salesperson, but I believe wholeheartedly in real estate so much that I can talk to you for months about it without breathing. But so it's easy. It was difficult in a way of understanding how people had the confidence in me to get the job done versus having the conversation. So now as I'm watching my business currently shift, where I'm headed to the next level, where you're at that $700,000-$800,000 price point, it's a different culture. It's an older crowd. Why are they trusting me? But why would they not trust me?
Doing something right.
Right? So, but again, it feels better doing something your way with integrity.
I know. When we said the pre-show offline, like, look, it just hit different.
It does.
Especially when we get the end results. People appreciate the work. It does. It also, you know what I mean, it keeps that, like you said, it keeps that you're building your own legacy in that aspect too. Like, man, nobody's moving like her. Like, that's why, but also, again, you create that demand, right? They're seeking you out for some type of reason for them to beneficial. They know it's going to benefit them. So that's definitely, what are some things, though, you feel we just people in general need to know about real estate, investment, buying, purchase, that just either get talked about or may not be clear about? Some stuff that you can give some game on right here. Like, some people will listen, they'll learn some things or know some new things, though. But what are some things you feel like you really got to consider information that should be shared that some people may not share often, or they don't come out enough?
As the consumer, I think the biggest misconception is waiting for an interest rate to drop, right?
Gotcha.
As a consumer, I get asked this question probably 5 times a day. When is it a good time to buy? My answer will always be when you can afford it. The minute you get an approval is when you should be purchasing a home. Here's why. Because that is equity. That home is going to create value, right? There's no perfect timing other than when you are ready. There are some people that are not financially ready. There are some people that are not credit ready, right? There's just different life situations that don't allow you to be ready today. But the moment you become ready as a consumer that's when you pull the trigger. You hear people talk about, the interest rates. Well, it's a cliche phrase, but it's the truest phrase in real estate. You date the rate and marry the home, right? Because you hear it, but what does that mean? If you're a tenant, if you're a renter, you are literally paying someone else's mortgage, or this person has made so much equity that their house is paid off and you're making the money in their sleep. Why would you not be willing to invest that same opportunity into yourself?
Yeah.
The biggest thing with our culture, I'll say, is though, and this is where we go wrong, is we look for that dangling carrot. I watch us sit there and say, I'm not going to go live in Oak Park. I'm not going to live in Elder Creek.
You talked about it. I remember that part.
But you rather go pay somebody else's mortgage in Elk Grove,
yeah,
right, versus invest in yourself. I share this story. I had a friend bought a house off of Gerber, $282,000. Not an ideal situation. Sold that house 23 months later for $395,000. The records are there. You can look it up if you think I'm kidding. They cleared almost $100,000 in less than 23 months, which means everything they paid into that mortgage plus some they got back. Turned around and bought a house in Elk Grove. House just reappraised for $635,000. Real estate is a guaranteed wealth builder. So if you've got to go sacrifice or compromise to be in a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom house, of course we want safety. We're not saying a shack.
Right.
Your name is on that deed. You are investing in yourself. You should never let someone laugh at you or talk you out of investing into yourself. There's no reason. Why would you pay somebody else's mortgage if you could pay your own?
It's stuff, like I said, this stuff that was not either being talked about enough or just brought about in conversation enough for us, for sure. But
It's not articulated in the language we understand.
Right.
And that's why I said I became a real estate advocate, because I
Difference.
get to show and tell the true story of what real estate does, which is why I enjoy buyers. First time, younger, or whatever it is, especially first time buyers, is because you're educating them and you're literally setting them up for success.
That's dope. That's definitely dope. It's 2026. You talked about it. Shout out to Wiz Media in the place. Brought her in. She looking around. There's some stuff going on. I can see it internally. I can see on your face. You walk around, your ideas are going. What's on the move? What's next? What's coming up right now that we can share a little bit about, or just like what's some stuff that we're getting into that you can move towards, because they're gonna watch.
Of course.
They're watching you, or they got interest or stuff like that. But also, we also get now. Sometimes we got to throw the little carrot out for them. So what can we share a little bit that may be moving towards going up this year?
You know, I don't think I would change anything from 2025. I would say it's a continuation to be in more rooms, to speak more openly on open platforms. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
But it's because I believe in real estate so much, right? So 2025, it was a lot of tunnel vision, building myself. 2026 is a more broader perspective, educating others and bringing more people in, having more conversations on a larger platform. Because like I said yesterday, I believe everyone should see their name on a deed the minute you're eligible.
That's what's up. So, and that also means more content,
more
collabs with people. And that's
Yes.
something we talked about before. People, we can share these spaces and support each other and lift them up, push them out there.
We do.
Especially people doing good business,
Yeah.
you know, stuff like that.
With
So that's something
integrity.
going on.
Yes.
And she mentioned some things about some content, podcasts potentially coming on the way. So we're working on some behind the scenes with some media people we know that can work out some stuff, because this is about us networking and supporting each
It
other.
is.
always interview Trees. I always ask people what their personal like triple threat is. So in basketball, a triple threat, you can dribble, pass, or shoot. But for me, for my guests, just give me 3 things that people see you, see your company, see your brand. 3 things they know. Okay, no, oh yeah, that's her company. That's how she moved. That's how, again, your legacy, your stuff like that. Give me 3 things you can hang your hat on. People when they see, they know this is what she's gonna bring to the table. This is how she acts. This is how she moves. Something like that. Your personal triple threat.
Honesty, integrity, and customer service.
Honesty, integrity, customer service. All the great, right back. But she knows it because you can tell. It didn't take no time. Most of my guests, they kind of think about it. She knows it. It came from the heart. You can just tell. But also approachable. And I'll say this: if you have good conversation, again, from me to you, one call, come out to the kids, you was like, "Yep." Hit me about coming to pod. I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
That just means the relationship there is A1. It's been that way, but also it's the longevity, y'all. Now, everybody can't say that with certain people being blessed to know somebody over 20-something years.
And you got to be careful of the rooms you sit in with people because everybody is not, they are not willing to have these conversations or it's not reciprocated, right? Yeah. You have to really lead with passion. I'm literally in a space with being intentional. Yeah. With having these conversations because it's not by accident that I'm here.
Not at all.
It's not by accident. But God has literally shifted me from an 18-year career out of fear, not knowing what was next, to exploding in an industry really that is not built for us. Yep. It is not. I was at an event. I was at an event earlier this week. Looked around.
Oh, it's not many people that. Yeah.
Just me.
But yeah.
But I'm relatable. I'm personable, and I'm honest. Right. I would never waver from who I'm from. I tell everybody I don't have a reason to lie because what you gonna do, beat me up? Probably not.
But yeah, definitely not. Y'all not winning that battle.
Don't let the smooth taste fool. I'm kidding. I'm a changed woman.
But
no,
but definitely is.
But I think once you understand that you can actually operate in a space of honesty and integrity,
you get respect from it too.
Who cares what someone's gonna say or think?
Right.
You're not gonna be able to I'm not gonna have 100% of clients that are comfortable, right? That are going to be satisfied, but I'm very intentional about the clients I serve. I will tell a client in a minute, I am not the agent for you.
It should be respected.
Because my reputation means everything to me. It means more than $1. If I feel like this relationship has the potential to damage or give me a bad review, I'll walk away before I accept the client, right? Life is not about $1. Life is about being a servant. Life is about showing up. And when we know better, we do better. And I gave God my word. My word is my bond.
Yep.
Let me sustain. He surpassed that. If I get nothing else,
there you
I am wholeheartedly forever grateful.
That's what's up.
So,
before we get out here, your camera's right there. Let them know where they can find you at. They want services. They want whatever support where they can follow you at. It's on you.
You can follow me on all social media handles, Latrice Pay. Latrice Pay on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, latricepay.com if you're looking for my website. If you're thinking about buying or selling, give your girl a call, 415-740-5100. I love you guys.
And her Rolodex is there. I ain't gonna tell you the clients, but she working, approachable, but also do good business, man. And she'll get the job done, or just have the conversation. I will say that she's open to having just the conversations, man. And everybody's not doing that. Heard it here first, man. Live on 94 Feet with Coach JT. Shout out to Wiz Media, my team in the back. Latrice Pay, we out.
I appreciate you, JT.
Peace.
Thank you.
Yo, mic check 1 2. Coach JT in the building, what it do? 94 feet, that's the space we own. From baseline to baseline, make it known. Dribble the beat, pass the rhyme. Got that hardwood flow, transcend the space and time. Swish, nothing but net. Word to Reggie Miller, these other podcasts, they just fill up. We elevate, never hate. Dropping knowledge, seal your fate. 94 feet, that's the court, that's the pod. Talking hoops, ain't no facade. 94 feet, hit a bounce, hit a swish. It's that podcast, granting every wish. From the jump ball to the final buzzer. Analyzing plays like a lyrical puzzler.